हम श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. To recite the shlokas. कार्पण्यदोषोपहता स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसमूढचेता यश्रेयः शान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं साधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरः प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया प्रहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधो न विधीयते प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकालनेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तप परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नयति मामेति सोऽर्जुन तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षयन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्य अन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुध भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समे युक्ततमो मतः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we have started third chapter last time, Karma Yoga. So I would like to hear something from all of you. Why this third chapter has begun? What was the reason? Can anyone say? Devotees can switch on their videos if there is no emergency. So what was the reason the third chapter was begun? What was the confusion in the mind of Arjuna? Yes.
Prabhuji, Arjuna asked that you have confused me by saying that renunciation and at the same time karma yoga is also important. So he is asking that. I think he started with this question: what is better, renunciation from all the fruitive work or karma yoga?
What you said at last? Renunciation from
all the fruitive work, all the actions.
or karma yoga. Arjuna is not able to understand karma yoga properly. He's asking renouncing all the work and correct. All doing the work. Which is the better one? Renouncing all the work or doing the work? He has not understood till now Karma Yoga. What is the Karma Yoga? Okay. Yes, anyone else? What are those slokas because of which Arjuna got confused? Which sloka? Which Krishna spoke in previous chapter, which confused Arjuna, and so he's asking question in this chapter. So we quoted one sloka. Which one? Which was that? Hare Krishna. Yes, I hope many of you were there last time. Which is that sloka? 2.49 we discussed, na? Durena hai abram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Buddhi means, Arjuna is always thinking buddhi means gyan. But Krishna, when he says buddhi yoga means you utilize your intelligence to do karma yoga or have a transcendental knowledge. With that knowledge you should work in your life. That is meaning of buddhi yoga. So Krishna, therefore next chapter will be transcendental knowledge, how to do the work with the knowledge of the Lord or the soul. The one thing he has spoken about the soul knowledge, correct? But he has not spoken about the knowledge about the Lord. He had directly mixed up everything, like saying matpara, tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matpara. You become matpara devotee by offering your mind to me. And Amrish Maharaj example, Savay Mana Krishna Padaravinda. He's a matpara devotee. But the issue here has to be discussed properly, that Krishna is mixing devotional service and also the karma many times, and sometimes he's also speaking about detachment. So Arjuna is getting confused. So this is one thing. 2.49, keep the fruitive activity means karma kanda away, and then do buddhi yoga means karma yoga. That is his instruction in 2.49. Arjuna, what he is thinking, that keep this abominable work of fighting away and be situated in buddhi means gyan. No need to fight. So Arjuna's way of understanding is this, and Krishna is saying keep this fruity mentality away, because which people do fruitive activity in this world, taking the name of Vedas, yamimam puspitam vacham, Veda vadrata. So these people, they will do any Vedic sacrifices for the want of material benefits. Niryoga shema atmavan. They want gain and safety. In this world, everybody is looking for gain, how much I can gain and how much I should, and that should not go away even after gaining. So then protect. So gain and protection. So Arjuna, don't become obsessed by or don't have this consciousness while doing your work, that you have to enjoy your result and you have to protect your result. No, you have to offer your result while doing your work. You have to offer your work as well as the result to me. More specifically in this chapter he will say about it, to offer the result as well as the work. So here, that previous chapter, most of the time he is saying in karma yoga, offer the result. Don't try to work with the desire for result. Okay, but do your duties. But Arjuna is understanding that Krishna is telling don't fight and just remain situated in Gyan. That is not the goal of Krishna. That is not how he wants to make him understand. But he is understanding like that. So therefore he is saying equivocal instructions. Equivocal instruction means, Krishna, you are emphasizing two things simultaneously. How to make distinction, what I have to do. Okay. So this is one of the sloka. And other places also, when prajahati yada kaman, so there also prajahati, what is this symptom of isita pragya? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan. Means this isita pragya person, jivan mukta person, he gives away all his desires which are born from mental concoction. So then then Arjuna, when he hears such thing, then he's thinking he does not do any activity. Means he has got, surely Krishna speaks also how does he walk in the world, but he still, Arjuna is in, sometimes what happens when we hear lecture, then we get stuck up because of certain misunderstanding is not cleared in our lecture. Then we don't hear the ahead part, we just become stuck up there only. This problem has to be resolved first, otherwise I'm not able to hear ahead. So therefore Arjuna also somewhere is getting stuck up without resolving if the resolution will not come, if the solution will not come, he will not forward ahead. So that's why Arjuna is not worried about resolving one shloka of Krishna of second chapter. Rather, he is worried about his understanding first. This is the way the teaching should be given, or the learner should see. Sometimes Prabhupada says that Krishna is ready to repeat Bhagavad Gita many times for Arjuna because his main goal is to make him understand. Yes, that's why Krishna appoints a guru for a living entity, so that the guru and then his other disciples also can make the particular disciple understand the scripture very well. 1 minute. So Arjuna, his main focus is not to know everything what Krishna is speaking. His main focus is his duty. With what consciousness he should do the duty, so that he should not get captured by sin. So his main focus is that. So this is very important in teaching part. If we do not stick to the basics and we start learning big things, then ultimately we will be confused in our regular duties. We do not know what to be done. So Arjuna wants to clear this doubt for every one of us, that in Krishna consciousness, whether inertia is important or activity is important. So in the first shloka we discussed last time that Arjuna did not follow Krishna consciousness either through inertia nor through activity, because neither he could become a sannyasi, nor he could also start fighting. Yes, so for him it was a dilemma. And this now Prabhupada says to chant in a secluded place is not recommended unless one becomes trained in philosophy of Krishna consciousness, which means basically na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye. Not only theoretically trained in philosophy of Krishna consciousness, but practically applying in one's own life that everything is for Krishna. We are not bhokta, we are enjoyed by Krishna. So we bring the items like we discussed last time. Our senses are secondary, like in our body, these are secondary enjoyers: hands, legs, head. The main enjoyer is stomach. In the similar way, we are secondary enjoyer in the whole creation, and Krishna is the primary enjoyer. So after he enjoys, he distributes his share of enjoyment to us. So how does it happen? We have to work for Krishna's enjoyment. First we have to work and make him happy, then we become happy. That is in between we are going to learn the whole process of sacrifice is like that only. We have to make Krishna happy, then Krishna will give all the necessities for us so that we can remain happy. So there is a cooperation between both of us. Like simple example in the Vedic life, like husband wife also. Wife has to serve the husband and husband provides for the wife. So it's both like a cooperation. If anyone is not doing it, means then the relationship will not stay. So here the similar thing. So we are Prakriti and Krishna is Purusha. So Purusha has to be served and he is a controller, he is a predominator, he is an enjoyer. So the enjoyed, controlled, predominated person has to submit to the predominator, and so then he will provide. So then Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. He is a Eka and we are Bahu, and he will fulfill our desires. Nityo Nityanam Chetnas Chetnanam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. So like that. So this is how the living entities have been created actually. So last time I also discussed nowadays training in Krishna consciousness philosophy means nowadays YouTube also means one has to be aware quite. So now equivocal instruction, which is Vyamish Shreneva. So Vyamish Shren means equivocal. E- Giving equal importance. So Arjuna is not able to understand this. Basically, now you see here Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. For Arjuna, Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga is thinking one only. Sometime, because just see, Sankhya means knowledge and Buddhi also is like a knowledge. So therefore, he is not able to make distinction clearly. But Buddhi Yoga Krishna mentions here is Karma Yoga. Okay, and Karma Yoga is also using the word Karma Yoga also, Krishna, and is also using the word Buddhi Yoga also. So therefore Arjuna is really getting confused. Now Buddhi Yoga, we discussed, Buddhi Yoga is a pure Krishna consciousness. Karma Yoga is still having karma attached to the person is attached to karma. Still attachment is there to karma because he is in beginning stage. And Buddhi Yoga means fully, as we heard last chapter, Acharyas use Buddhi word for Buddhi Yoga for sometimes Niskam Karma Yoga and sometimes for devotional service. Okay, same word they are using. Buddhi Yoga sometimes for Niskam Karma Yoga, sometimes for pure devotional service. Okay, so do not get confused. Buddhi Yoga means both, or in one sense, if you want to understand, Buddhi Yoga is a perfection of devotional service, and Arjuna is a Karma Yogi. He is beginning that practice. And so Krishna is telling, follow this path of devotional service while doing your work. Okay, and in this way you will perfect. You will come to the highest stage of Buddhi Yoga. So any action done without any desire for sense enjoyment, only for the pleasure of Krishna, that is called Buddhi Yoga. And Karma Yoga means you are doing certain work according to your Varna, according to your Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and then you are offering the result. So there is a difference between both. You should understand. And Krishna is mixing up, because Krishna has same goal. He wants to tell Arjuna that you do your duty, and that duty is itself a devotional service, like that.
Very
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, please can you repeat the that difference right now you told between Karma Yoga and Buddhi Yoga?
Prabhupada says, Niha Vikramana Sosti, that so Buddhi Yoga means doing work only for Krishna without any desire for sense gratification. Only for Krishna. That is Buddhi Yoga. Karma Yoga means what? We are Brahman, we are Kshatriya, we are Vaishya, we are Shudra. We are situated in our Varna, and then according to scripture, we find the work, prescribed duty, and then do that work and offer the result to Krishna. So that work has been given in Vedas, and we are offering the result to Krishna. Okay? So now in this what happens, here the work is still according to your Varna, na? And Varna are our material. So still there is some material tinges there. Your Brahman, your Kshatriya, Vaishya. And here the other Buddhi Yoga means whatever Krishna says to do, whatever he says, fight, fight. He says, don't fight, don't fight. Whatever he says, irrespective of your Varna, you have to do it. That is Buddhi Yoga. And Karma Yoga means you are situated in your Varna as a Kshatriya, as a Vaishya. Then you have to do that activity for the pleasure of God. The difference is there. And we are seeing that difference. Did we not see last time? Prabhupada says, like if you do not do your work and take sannyas, then that sannyas will be havoc or chaos in society. But if the same person comes to Krishna consciousness, even out of sentiment, no issue, and he surrenders to Krishna, not doing his prescribed duty, still Prabhupada says that is appreciable. That work is appreciable. It means if he is fully surrendering for Buddhi Yoga, he is acceptable, even if he has not done his prescribed duty. But if somebody is in the Vedic line as a Brahman, Kshatriya, and is trying to follow, and in that line he forgoes his duties of Brahmana and takes to sannyas directly, then it is a problem. It is a chaos. So you should decide which path you are following properly, be in proper situation. Okay, so it's like that. So when you are following the Vedic path, go gradually. Take sannyas if you are really purified. If not, if you are taken to Krishna consciousness directly without much worrying about your duties, then stick to Krishna consciousness. And even if you cannot stick, Prabhupada says no issue, but you have gained some bhakti. So therefore, devotional process is never under any rules regulation. In one sense, basically it is all because devotional process is directly under control of Krishna. Actually, he directly controls. So there are rules for devotional service, how we advance. But here, if somebody surrenders without fulfilling his prescribed duty, Krishna is still ready to accept. But Krishna is not ready to accept if he is in the Vedic line, he is not following his duty. He is not ready to accept Krishna. Krishna leaves him because he has not come to me for devotional service. He is just doing his duty. So Krishna will not accept him. Krishna will say, first do Niskam Karma Yoga, then take sannyas. Purify your heart. But if you are ready to come for Krishna without doing even Niskam Karma Yoga, even your normal duty also, Krishna, please accept me. I want to serve you. Krishna, I have taken shelter of his spiritual master. Please protect me. Then Krishna is ready to accept. Surely, spiritual master will also engage us in proper duties according to our varna in future. That will be there. But even if it is not there, that is glorious path, Krishna consciousness. So there we are seeing the difference. Okay. So yes, Krishna says that Loke asmin dvida nishtha pura prokta. So I have spoken earlier. Pura prokta. पहले बोल चुका हूँ दो तरह की निष्ठा होती है. एक निष्ठा होती है ज्ञान से परम सत्य को समझना या परफेक्शन से को जाना, और एक होता है कर्म के द्वारा परम सत्य को जानना या परफेक्शन को जानना. ओके, इधर बाय ज्ञान योग सांख्या नाम या कर्म योग योगी नाम. देयर आर टू पाथ, बट कृष्णा सेज बोथ पाथ आर सिमिलर. एक्चुअली दीज आर निष्ठा among the people. But Krishna is, even though they are same, but Jnana Yogena Sankhyana is an indirect process. It's an indirect. Even though they result into the same conclusion, means ultimately they go to the same conclusion, but Jnana Yogena Sankhyana is indirect path and Karma Yogena Yoginam is direct path. So why it is direct? Because this Karma Yoga Krishna is making it devotional service. And this Jnana Yoga, ultimately it finds Krishna. Ultimately, at last it will find Krishna. That Krishna is the source of all the material elements, all the creation. Krishna is giving out all the creation from his body, like that. But when it comes to Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, from beginning only you know. You have to surrender to Krishna, you have to give a result to Krishna, like that. You're beginning only, you know whom I have to serve. Prabhupada mentions thus very classic statements of religion without philosophy is sentiment and sometimes fanaticism. While philosophy without religion, see, this is also very, very important. When we are speaking any lecture, if we do not stick to Acharya Parampara, then we are simply speculating on the basis of philosophy. Sometimes we may speak very rigid philosophy, very intellectual philosophy, but we have to stick to Acharya Parampara. What is the Acharya Parampara? That you have to execute devotional service. That is the religion part. All the philosophy we hear, but we have to chant the holy name, we have to surrender to Krishna, we have to surrender to spiritual master. We have to execute devotional service practically with heart, with love for Krishna. That is called Buddhi Yoga. Krishna in 10.10 Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mentions, if anybody who even does not understand any philosophy, or he cannot understand what his spiritual master is saying, but if he does all those activities with love for Krishna, then Krishna will guide him through his heart. So Krishna is sitting in the heart, he will guide. So Krishna can only be connected through our sincerity and love. Philosophy is very important, but if somebody is not able to connect to the spiritual injunctions properly, then he should just do the activity out of love, and Krishna will direct him ahead. Prabhupada says that is the way how Krishna will say, Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tvam. There it comes buddhi yogam, here also buddhi yogam. Dadami buddhi yogam tvam yena mam upayantite. Means by giving that buddhi, if he is doing any work, satata yuktam, always engaged in my service with love, priti purvakam, dadami buddhim. Therefore I will give him dadami buddhi. I will give him buddhi yoga, how he can connect to me. Even if he does not understand anything, if you're doing everything, even chanting on, if somebody is chanting out of love for Krishna, out of love means intention, he wants to love, and he wants to do, he is doing some service also for Krishna with love, whatever love he has, then Krishna will guide him. So therefore Krishna conscious process is a practical process. It's like that. Yesterday was Valentine Day. What is Valentine Day? So, real Valentine Day is to celebrate it with Krishna. He's a lotus personality. Namo Pankaja Nabhaya, Namo Pankaja Maline, Namo Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankaja Angriye. All the bodily parts of Krishna is lotus in smell, in color, in fragrance. And Krishna has to be offered all the roses and candies and gifts, everything to Krishna actually. So people misinterpret or they deculturize the system, and they also demean the name of a saintly person, whatever the Valentine is there. We should say to Krishna, whether you be my Valentine, Krishna. Like some, but this is deculturized, means everything is becoming decultured here. So old man is proposed by some young woman, and they are saying, can you be our Valentine? What is this? Children are saying to their mothers, can you be a Valentine? They don't understand anything. So this is deculture actually. What culture is getting spread in the world? Nobody is screening those culture. Nobody is screening what values we are going to learn from those culture. And just spreading. We are so much unconscious about our growth in human values actually. Because we are not reading Bhagavad Gita, na? We are reading all such nonsense books and speculating a lot. Many Babas are there in YouTube. They can help people to speculate a lot. Nobody is reading Bhagavad Gita. If you read, therefore Bhakti is a very simple process. If you do anything with love, you will understand Krishna. But they are not doing only. They have love for something else. So how they will understand Krishna? So Prabhupada has written such a nice philosophy. If you read, you will understand. Yes, the whole process is to understand the real position of the self. Okay, this we read last time. So out of the two, the path of Krishna consciousness means karma yogena yoginam, that buddhi yoga only is better for Arjuna because it does not depend on purifying the senses by philosophical process. Just CVC. Just by engaging in Krishna consciousness, one becomes purified. No need of any philosophical process. Means, okay, my senses are getting attached somewhere. Okay, what I should do now? I should become detached from here. I should become detached from it. Too much thinking is not required. Just engage yourself in Krishna consciousness. Yes, we should think also, but too much thinking, analysis by paralysis, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. इतना सोच रहा है कुछ कार्य नहीं कर रहा है. He's not doing anything. Like somebody thinks, unless I become purified, I will not offer any bhoga to Radha and Krishna because Radha and Krishna cannot accept any bhoga without my purification. So why I should offer? Arey Murkh, first you offer. First you offer and pray to Lord, please accept this. I am totally sinful, no problem. But if your spiritual master has given me this process, please help me to get purified. This is the way. Nobody is pure in this world. If Krishna has to collect some gems from this world and purify all others, then he has to lower down his standard according to Acharya. Acharya has said, chant 16 on, follow 480 principles, try to sincerely serve Krishna. Krishna will accept. So do that. What is the problem? So we have to have faith in Acharya Parampara. Okay. This also we learn. So merely by abstaining the work from work, one can't achieve freedom from reaction. And not by renunciation. With this also we learned last time that purification, sannyas should only be taken in a regular line of Vedic process. It should only be taken once one's heart is purified from attachment to results. Attachment to result means what? Result means any activity you do, always you expect some result. That is the attachment to result. And for whom you are attached? Because of your family. We are attached for ourselves and for our families, for country, whatever. Extended sense gratification or concentrated sense gratification. Concentrated means myself and my family. Extended means my country. So the purpose of doing work is to satisfy myself or my family or my country. And for that I am attached to result. So this consciousness has to be given up before one takes sannyas. If a sannyasi also start speaking about देश के लिए कुछ करो, तो सन्यासी नहीं है. So sannyasi should not speak. Sannyasi satanyas. He should only speak that work for sat or param satya के लिए कार्य करो, not for relative truth of this world. No. So sannyas is, so if one surrenders to Krishna without even discharging to his duties, he is still accepted. Salpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahatovaya. By not engaging in activity recommended in scripture, one cannot attain neskarmya. So okay, these things are mentioned for the normal path of doing the karma, then going to jnana. But for Krishna consciousness, this all neskarmya and jnana, everything is aroused by Krishna in the heart of a person who execute devotional service or buddhi yoga. Okay. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtata karma krit. This we have done last time. So by nature, all of us are, for every moment, we are active. We cannot stop activity. So if you see the Rupa Goswami, when he is in samadhi, means he is meditating on some leela of the Lord. He is active internally. He cannot be snoring. He cannot be snoring and then saying I am in yoga. Or he cannot be focusing on something void. Void has no activity. Void means no activity. It means either we are active doing our jobs in the world through our hands, through our legs, through our intelligence, or we are active focusing on somebody's leela, somebody's activities, thinking about somebody, thinking about his activities. So we have to be active somewhere. Either samadhi mein the person is active, seeing the yogi is active, he's seeing the Paramatma, his bodily form, his legs. Now we can see in the third canto, when yogis, they meditate on the different bodily parts of the Lord, they start glorifying the Lord with those bodily parts. How this bodily part is engaged or doing some pastime in this leela. So they are glorifying the legs of the Lord, the thighs of the Lord, the chest of the Lord, the face of the Lord. So whatever they are seeing, they are actively glorifying actually. Like that. So, or somebody is mohit, totally become captured by seeing that face of the Lord. So that is also activity, because he's totally become bewildered by seeing that face. And he is just relishing that face of the Lord. So he is always, so soul is always active. He needs some activity. It's not that because we are under the modes, we are active. No. Modes are superficial. Now, why the Shastra recommend a prescribed duty? Prabhupada mentions, as such the spirit soul has to be engaged in the, In contact with the material energy, the spirit soul acquires material modes, and to purify the soul from such affinity, it is necessary to engage in the prescribed duty enjoined in the Shastra. All of us are in three modes in this world. So, if we are not given any particular activity through Vedas, through Shastras, then naturally we'll engage according to the modes, naturally. And that activity, because it is not authorized in the Vedas, that activity will be called sinful activity. And that will not purify the soul. So therefore, Vedas, even though we are in conditioned state, they give us certain activity which are called prescribed activity, and that activity will purify the soul from attachment to the three modes. And if a person does not know that activity or does not do that activity, and he will do anyway some activity because he is on the three modes, then that will be sinful activity. And that sinful activity will bind him more and more into the modes. Finish. So what is happening in today's world? They are not knowing Vedas, they don't know their prescribed duty, they don't know their Varanas. So what is happening? Everybody in wholesome becoming sinful living entity. Now somebody will say, how is mentioned here? If we are not doing activity with knowledge from Shastras, that what is my prescribed duty, what to be done, what at what time, what had to be done. So then that is, even though you are doing so-called simple work of earning money, or eating food or walking to some place, whatever, that still will include a lot of sins because that is not understood properly. Prescribed duty है या नहीं है, वो तो मन से चल रहा है, ये थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर से एक कल्चर है, कल्चर ओनली ट्रेडिशन, just without any understanding. So therefore, it's so important that people should know about the Krishna conscious activity, that they have to do any work we do. Now there is another thing, any work we do and offer to Krishna, that will resolve all the problem. Or not, then you know the work from Vedas and do that work properly. There are two paths, one is Krishna conscious, one is Vedic path. You have to choose both of them, which one of you want to follow. The Vedic path means karma will act, it will have a reaction, so you have to know the karma properly. Krishna conscious path means follow the spiritual master and do the activity according to his instructions, so then Krishna will take care of all our reactions. So the two paths are there. So it's like that. So again Prabhupada mentioned the second path again and again, Tektadiham Supunarjanma. This Tektva Sudharmam Charanambujamani. Yes.
Prabhuji, I don't know, but I'm little confused. You are saying there is two paths, Vedic path and second is pure Krishna consciousness. Right? So purely Krishna consciousness is that what our spiritual master is saying, and Vedic path is what Vedas and all the Shastras are saying. But these two are not different, na Prabhuji. That Guru Maharaj is saying whatever is in Shastras, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
1 minute. So I will show you one thing. This is coming in 6th canto. तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण शमेन च दमेन च त्यागेन सत्यशौचाभ्यां यमेन नियमेन वा देहवाग बुद्धिजं धीरा धर्मज्ञा सद्धवान्विता क्षिपन्ते अघं महदपि वेणुगुल्म इवानलः. Now this shloka says, to concentrate the mind, one must observe life of celibacy. Now this is a Vedic path, what you are learning now, and not fall down. So follow celibacy. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up sense enjoyment. One must then be control the mind and senses, give charity, be truthful, clean, non-violent, follow the regulative principles, and regularly chant the holy name of the Lord. Thus, a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principle is temporarily purified of all the sins performed with the body, words, mind. These sins are like the dried leaves. So tapasa brahmacharyena shamena damena cha tagena satya sauchabhyam yamena niyamena. So many rules you have to follow. Then Prabhupada says in this section only, see this. Tapaha is explained in the Smriti Shastra as follows: the manasas chaindriyanam cha ekagram paramam tapaha. सबसे बड़ा तपस्या क्या है? कंट्रोल करना माइंड, एकाग्र करना सबसे बड़ा तप है. क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली आपको पता है योगाभ्यास में तो लास्ट में ये समाधि होती है. समाधि मतलब दैट इज टू कंट्रोल द माइंड इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो मनसस च इंद्रियाणाम, मन और इंद्रियों को एकाग्र कर पाना बहुत बड़ा तप है. पहला तपस्या का डेफिनेशन. और कृष्णा कॉन्शियस मूवमेंट इज टीचिंग पीपल हाउ टू कंसंट्रेट द माइंड ऑन डिवोशनल सर्विस. दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्लास तपः. ब्रह्मचर्य, द लाइफ ऑफ सेलिबेसी हैज 8 aspect. These are 8 aspect. Okay, brahmacharya, then this is called first class brahmacharya. If a brahmacharya sannyasi talks with a woman in a secluded place, naturally there is a possibility of sex life without anyone's knowledge. Therefore, the complete brahmacharya practice just the opposite. If one is a perfect brahmacharya, he can very easily control the mind and senses. Okay, this is done. In a bhakti marg, the path of devotion, one must strictly follow the regulative principles by first controlling the tongue. The tongue can be controlled by chanting Hare Krishna, by taking prasadam. Yes. Yeah. So Prabhupada, here he you can say discriminates between the upper path and bhakti path, because this is a path of jnana. This is what is mentioned in sixth canto. This is a path of jnana. This is answer given by Sukadeva Goswami. First answer he gave to Parikshit Maharaj how prayashchit has to be done for all our sinful activity. He said, follow the fruitive activities. So then after doing fruitive activity, again kunjara sauchava, again one does sinful activity. Then he gave this solution, brahmacharya, tapasa. Even this is again a path of gyan, means by knowledge, by austerity, you control your mind and senses. But this also cannot clear your anartha fully. Then he at last it gives kechit kevalaya bhaktya, vasudev parayana. So this is a gyan marg. So this is a Gyan marg where a lot of austerity and control of senses are given. So even we are not following that. So Prabhupada he is mentioning basically in NOI. 1 minute, I'll just show you NOI. Same thing. Just see here. This is the same shloka which I showed you, 6th canto. Prabhupada is speaking upon the same. The real atonement involves coming to the real knowledge, and for this there is a standard process. When one follows the regulated hygienic process, he does not fall sick. A human being is meant to be trained according to certain principles to revive his original knowledge. Such a methodical life is described as tapasya. The same tapasa brahmacharyena. One can gradually elevate it to the standard of real knowledge or Krishna consciousness by practicing austerity, celibacy, by controlling mind, controlling senses, by giving up. Yes, all these things. However, if one is fortunate enough to get association of a pure devotee, he can easily surpass all the practices for controlling the mind by mystic yoga process, simply by following the regulatory principle of Krishna consciousness. Just see, ये देखो ये अंतर दे दिया, यहाँ पे अंतर आ गया. तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण शमेन दमेन च त्यागेन सत्य शौचाभ्याम यमेन नियमेन. This is one path, Vedic path, methodological path of Jnana Marg or Tapasya Marg. Now this another process, spiritual master giving 4 regulatory principles, 16 round, and try to serve Krishna. This is separate path. Please try to understand. Even though we also follow the brahmacharya, we also follow cleanliness, but these now instructions are taken from mouth of spiritual master, not directly from the Vedas. That you then Vedas if you take, then you have to follow एक एक करके पूरा proper. But यहाँ पे क्या बोलेगा, if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a pure devotee, he can easily surpass all the practices of controlling mind and controlling the mind by the mystic yoga process, simply by following the regulative principle of Krishna consciousness and by engaging in service of the Lord under the direction of bona fide spiritual master. Finish. अभी समझ में आया आपको?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
तो इसमें क्या है? So what is the difference? Spiritual master, they also take from scripture only, but they make it tailor made according to the time, place, circumstances, and then they say, okay, my disciple, follow this. By taking these some practices of Vedas and devotional service, you will be purified. Don't worry about other process. Just do it.
Yeah,
This is the difference.
so somewhere I have heard from one of the Maharajas that he was saying that our goal in Krishna consciousness is not to become a yogi, but to become a bhakta. That is, our goal is Krishna prem and not become a like एक austerity के बारे में जब बात हो रहा था, like tapasya and all the which you are mentioning all these things, na? So is it right?
Correct.
Our goal is to get Krishna prem and not to become a yogi.
Yes. See, tapasvi, yogi, anybody does not like tapasya. Anybody, कोई किसी को तपस्या नहीं चाहिए. तपस्या क्यों करते हैं? Scripture says tapasya we do so that we become detached from our bodily identity, our desire to enjoy this body and sense gratification, material sense gratification. For that we do tapasya, but we do not do tapasya to enjoy Krishna consciousness. Enjoyment of Krishna consciousness should be natural for the soul, but he is not able to enjoy because he is attached to material body and material sense gratification. So we have to cut from here and we have to join there. So that is why we do tapasya. So for us, tapasya is austerity because we are attached. Yeah? So our goal is not tapasya. Our goal is to enjoy Krishna consciousness, to give enjoyment to Krishna and to enjoy Krishna consciousness. Huh? Anandam mudivardhanam. So first come cheto darpana marjanam, that is tapasya. Bhava mahadava agne nirvapanam tapasya. Huh? श्रेया कैरवा चंद्रिका वितरणम विद्यावधु जीवनम. अब वो आ गया, अभी विद्यावधु जीवनम आ गया, मीन्स विद्या आ गया, विद्यावधु मीन्स नॉलेज, द विडो, सॉरी नॉट विडो, द नॉलेज girl has come, and now the knowledge maid has come, and then she enters into the heart, chit sakti, and when she enters vidyavadhu जीवनम आनंदाम्बुदि वर्धनम, then ananda increases. So first पहले तपस्या है, चेतो दर्पण मार्जन, हार्ट को क्लीन करते रहो, तपस्या है. भव महादावाग्नि तपस्या है. उसके आगे क्या है? आनंदम मुदि वर्धनम, ये आनंद का बात है. उसके बाद किसको तपस्या करना है? किसी को तपस्या नहीं करना. अभी रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी इधर कुछ नहीं खाते थे, उधर जाके इतना स्वीट खा लिया, उनको पेट में इधर हो गया, डिसेंट्री हो गया. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड दैट पास्ट टाइम, करेक्ट ना? So he was in samadhi, lila samadhi, and he ate lot of sweet rice. But because he was in this body, he got dysentery. But in spiritual body, he was happy. So tapasya is only for clearing our material attachments. It is not to become attached for Krishna. Because attachment to Krishna is swabhavik. वो natural है, उसके लिए क्या तपस्या करना? Iron and magnet. Iron is naturally attracted to magnet, but when iron is rusted, it cannot become attracted. So when rust, remove the rust, that is tapasya. You remove the rust of iron, that is tapasya. Once the rust is removed, leave the iron and magnet, they are themselves attached. Finished, काम खत्म. There is no question of tapasya. इसलिए प्रभुपाद बोले कृष्ण का तपस्या ही नहीं, चैंटिंग, डांसिंग, फिस्टिंग, बस. So yes, Goswamis they show us how to follow that life of tapasya, because if you want to do intense sadhana, and that will be required later. अभी थोड़ा हम आराम से जी रहे हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन जितना आपका साधना में मन लगेगा ना, उतना ही आप खुद ही डिटैच होना चाहोगे. अभी साधना में मन नहीं लग रहा है, अभी हमें थोड़ा, तो हमें ज़्यादा डोज दे दिया तो हम मर जाएंगे. So that should come naturally. As spiritual master say, like Prabhupada says, chant 64 rounds. All foreign disciples, they put their head down. Prabhupada 64 rounds who will chant. Then Prabhupada said chant 32 rounds. Again head down. Prabhupada said okay, no less than 16 rounds. Chalo. So then it means what? We surely will do tapasya as per our growth in taste for Krishna consciousness. And regular tapasya should be there for acharyas, birthday, Janmashtami, and giving up proprietorship, giving up enjoyership. These are the main tapasya. Okay, now Ashish Tiwari Prabhu, are you there? है क्या? सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है?
प्रभु जी मैं थोड़ा बाहर साइड से मेरी.
ओके ठीक है. अभी प्रभु जी में कौन पढ़ेगा? महादेव केशव प्रभु हैं?
यस प्रभु, आई विल रीड.
हाँ, अभी जिसका वीडियो बन होगा उसी को मैं बुलाने वाला हूँ. ओके, सो वी विल रीड फ्रॉम हियर. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थाभिमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते. यस.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense object, certainly dwells himself and is called as a pretender.
Yes.
There are.
Okay. Okay. So a pretender, Krishna is saying, karma indriyani samyamya. So what are the 5 working senses? Hands, leg, voice, rectum, genital. These are the 5 karma indriyas. Now if somebody, karma indriyas are given to engage in work. Now if somebody is not engaging his karma indriyas, and he has just taken up sannyas, but inside his mind he is thinking about sense objects, then that person is called mithyachara. So in India, sometimes I say mainly because sometimes traditions, culture becomes so strong, and because it is not understood by the people who carried ahead the culture tradition, so then people just follow the ritual of culture and they forget the real spirit of culture. And so because of this, they cannot change the culture according to the time, place, circumstances, because of which many problem came actually. So anything has to be taken based upon knowledge. Now culture, the basis of culture is what? Basis of culture has to be knowledge. On what basis this culture has been established? By we are reading Bhagavad Gita, because today we will do devotional service, which is a culture. Again, devotional service is a culture. So it's a culture of worshipping the Lord, how devotees live their life, how devotees serve the Lord. It's a culture. Yeah. But we are supporting this culture with the knowledge. So then it becomes fulfilling. Like Prabhupada says, religion and knowledge has to be there. Religion and philosophy, both are interdependent. Only religion, only ritual, no use. So therefore only घंटी बजाओ मंदिर में घंटी बजाओ, चलो भगवान को चलो थोड़ा दान देखो, दान दो. अभी सभी मंदिर में ही हो रहा है ना. इस्कॉन को छोड़ के बाकी जो मंदिर में आप जाइए, व्हाट हैपेंस? पुजारी सिटिंग एंड विद चंद्रामृत साइड, एक थाली रखा रहता है, थोड़ा सिंदूर रखा रहता है और थोड़ा टीका रखा रहता है, थोड़ा उसमें आचमन में तुलसी रहता है. हाँ चलो आ जाओ भगवान का दर्शन लो, चलो चंद्रामृत, चलो इधर डोनेशन डालो, हाँ चलो नेक्स्ट. ये क्या है? ओनली रिचुअल, only ritual. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to say, I don't want to make such society of ringing bell society. Ringing bell. Dun 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 dun. Ringing bell society. No. Therefore he was so passionate for making Brihad Mridanga. Book distribution. Print books. Distribute books. Print books. Distribute books. So much passionate. And he kept the printing press inside temple. टेम्पल हॉल में रख दिया प्रिंटिंग प्रेस. तो कई लोग बोले, अरे गुरु महाराज ये टेम्पल हॉल में क्यों रखा है कीर्तन? अरे दिस इज अ कीर्तन. जो बुक छपता है तो वो कीर्तन होता है उनका. ही वाज टू मच बिकॉज ही क्लियरली न्यू दैट कलियुगा पीपल दे आर वेरी एक्सपर्ट इन कॉपिंग. बिकॉज कलियुग में सब शूद्र है, कोई ब्राह्मण है ही नहीं. शूद्र लोग कॉपी करेंगे. तो कॉपी करना, तो क्या कॉपी करना वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. कॉपी करने के लिए भी दिमाग चाहिए. What to be copied, you need a brain for that. Like somebody had a homework and then he copied the next chapter because he was very much lagging, and he copied the next chapter, and then he went to teacher said, what you have copied? Well, I have done my homework, just see. But this is next chapter homework. How could you do? First you finish your previous chapter. But I have done. Oh, what I have done? Because he copied next chapter. So copy करने के लिए भी दिमाग चाहिए, है ना. So therefore knowledge is important. Therefore our acharyas are too much after this, that we should not become diverted. See, this is very important. Otherwise we may get deluded. So here कर्म इंद्रियानि संयम्य. कर्म इंद्रिया को संयम करना है पहले. Means one has to engage oneself in prescribed duty. Very very important. And purify your mind and senses. Rather than give up your duties and then show off, pretend yourself like a sannyasi or sadhu. This is a wrong thing. Doing one's duty with a desire to purify one's heart and also doing in a proper way, not attached to the result, this is the right way. And other places just giving up everything, becoming sannyasi, but is still attached to the sense objects. So again, this is again, meantime when we quote this thing, then sometimes people will say, but what you are doing, are you fully detached? But again, this is a Vedic path, just don't misunderstand. Krishna conscious path is different, always understand. If somebody takes to even brahmacharya, renunciation also, even though he may not be fully detached, but Guru, Krishna will protect him. You try to understand this path, what Krishna is talking here. Sometimes he's mixing. Krishna is also very trickster. He's mixing. But Prabhupada is very making clarity here. If somebody is coming to Krishna conscious movement and surrendering his life, then Guru takes care. Okay, तुम ये करो, तुम वो करो, तुम ये करो, ऐसा. तो ये जो बताया जा रहा है ये खास करके बाहर वालों के लिए, जो कि बाहर जो बेगिंग बाउल लेके बैठ जाते हैं या कोई भी बड़ा बड़ा प्रोग्राम चालू कर देते हैं, बट दे आर नॉट फुली डिटैच, दे आर बेसिकली वांटिंग सम नेम, फेम, प्रेस्टीज. Like even in Krishna conscious movement, somebody went to Radha Kund. It means he did not follow Srila Prabhupada. Then he is trying to imitate those outsiders who go to Radha Kund and do something. So then he is not inside the mission. But if somebody is trying to follow the process given by Acharya, even though he is not fully renounced, he is trying to get renounced, then he is still ready to take up to sannyas or brahmacharya. He is allowed to do that. Anyway, brahmacharya is a beginning of a student life. So there is a brahmacharya training is for those who are attached and those who are detached. After brahmacharya, one who goes to grihastha ashram, they are attached people. And after grihastha, there is a banprastha, that is detached. So for grihastha life, detachment starts from banprastha. And if somebody is attached and detached in brahmacharya life and then slowly goes ahead and takes sannyas, then he is fully detached. He need not to enter these two ashrams. So student life is a training for attached plus detached person, that is brahmacharya. And then after that, attached person enters into the grihastha life. And then after performing his duty properly, he becomes detached in banprastha, that is called retired life. Like that. So Prabhupada says that there are many pretenders who refuse to work in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says clearly, but make a show of meditation while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may sometimes speak on philosophy also, and the bluff is sophisticated followers, but according to this verse, they are greatest cheaters. So one has to work in Krishna consciousness. This is very important. Otherwise, he will simply try to follow the same path of these pretenders. Prabhupada says, for sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order, but if one follows the rules and regulation of particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence. But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for an object of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater. Even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy, his knowledge has no value because the effects of such a sinful man's knowledge are taken away by the illusory energy. So we find outside world also many so-called renounced people who have nothing to do with Krishna consciousness, and they have big beard, big topi and big lectures, but have they gone through the proper Vedic process of purification? Have they done their niskam karma yoga? Kiya kya unhone niskam karma yoga? Purify hue kya? But they are still sannyasis, still they are in Babajis. So then it is doubtful. Therefore Prabhupada says their knowledge has no value because they have not followed the real path. So either get purified through Krishna conscious process or through Vedic process. There is no third path mentioned. The sannyasi is a fool who is stopping his action senses like voice while still remembers the object of sense such as the sound. Like somebody hearing kya sundar awaaz aa raha hai, but I will not speak anything, but he will think, wow, such a nice sound. He is enjoying in the mind. So again it's mentioned, how can you enjoy such sound in the mind? So he is an imposter. So first one has to purify oneself, then take to the steps of renunciation. Or in Krishna consciousness, try to dedicate your life to serve Krishna. Whatever you have attachments, try to serve Krishna to get free from that attachment. And Krishna is ready to accept you at any stage. He does not say first become purified, then only come. No, Krishna says come right now. I will purify through my spiritual master. I will do it. So which arises because of impurity in the mind through not performing niskam karma. This ignorant person attempting to control his attraction to material objects does not attain jnana, though he aspires for it. So he will not attain jnana. Why? Because he has not done niskam karma yoga. See, even in day-to-day life, those people who honestly do their duty, it is really seen, and they are also grateful to God. Then in due course of time, even though some problem comes in their life, they understand that I am doing my duty and these problems are part of life that will come, but I will not give up my duty. So this is again purification. That purification is making him detached from the result, because the result is not favorable for him. But he is doing the duty. Even though he is knowing that result is not favorable, I have to do the duty. This is called purification. This is called purification. So why? Because he is trying to do honestly. But if somebody wants to do a dishonest work, some thievery, इधर उधर से चुराना, उसको मारना, इसको मारना, then that person will lose the goal also for whom he is doing. क्यों कर रहा है? Now, so therefore, now people are very greedy for money, for many other things. Greedy, lusty, angry, all these things. So then they do not know what duty they have to do, for whom they have to do, and they cannot do honestly any work. So before doing one's duty, one should understand that one should focus one goal. किसके लिए कर रहा हूँ? क्या ये मेरा duty है? किसके लिए कर रहा हूँ? Even somebody doing for family also, even honestly he is doing, then he will get some purification. He will get some purification, surely. But at the same time, it is mentioned, unless you do for the Lord, the purification will not be complete. We have to do it for the Lord and offer the result also to the Lord. Then only purification becomes complete. And then jnana will arise in the heart. So doing any activity, the purpose is to realize in knowledge. To realize in knowledge. What is that knowledge? You become situated in knowledge that I do not want any material enjoyment now. I am happy. I am a soul. And I have my beloved Krishna. I don't want any enjoyment. So that knowledge has to awaken in the heart. That will only happen through the Vedic process. Do the duty, offer the result, offer the work to Krishna, and in Krishna consciousness do all the duty for the pleasure of Krishna. Follow either of the path, then the jnana will arise in the heart. The knowledge will arise. So this is important. And this knowledge basically virakti. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayat Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. वैराग्य और ज्ञान आ जाता है. अच्छा, which person can be fully renounced or fully detached? A person who has developed complete knowledge, only he can be renounced. And the knowledge will only stay in the heart of a person who is purified of material impurities. It means material impurities जाएगा तो ज्ञान भी आएगा, बाद में वैराग्य भी आएगा. वैराग्य तभी टिकता है जब ज्ञान, क्योंकि वैराग्य ज्ञान के बेसिस पे टिकता है. It happens. अच्छा, now by doing bhakti, the two children of bhakti are jnana and vairagya. They automatically comes. वासुदेव भगवती भक्ति योगा प्रयोजिता जनयत आसु वैर. आसु मीन्स तुरंत आ जाता है भक्ति करने से. क्या? वैराग्यम ज्ञान चद अहेतुकम. अहेतुकी भक्ति से ये ज्ञान और वैराग्य तुरंत आ जाता है. तो भक्ति कर लो तो डायरेक्ट आ गया. भक्ति में आप भगवान का सेवा करो, हार्ट भी प्यूरिफाई हो रहा है, आपको ज्ञान भी अपने आप आ रहा है, होता रहेगा. वो वैराग्य भी आ रहा है, ज्ञान भी आ रहा है. बाहर के पाथ ले लो, वैदिक पाथ, तो पहले आप कर्म करो, कर्म करके हार्ट प्यूरिफाई करो, हार्ट प्यूरिफाई करोगे तो ज्ञान आएगा, ज्ञान आएगा तो फिर वैराग्य आएगा. ये थोड़ा ऐसे ऐसे स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस है. भक्ति में क्या है, दोनों चीज़ सामने चलता रहता है. ज्ञान भी आता है, वैराग्य भी आता है, ज्ञान भी वैराग्य भी, ऐसे चलते रहता है साथ में, क्योंकि भक्ति है. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. तो सी, डोंट गेट कन्फ्यूज्ड. आई होप एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर. करेक्ट हो रहा है ना? क्लियर? हाँ. यस्त्वा इंद्रियाणि मनसा नियम्य अर्भते अर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियस् कर्मयोगा असक्तः स विशिष्यते. यस प्रभु.
Prabhuji, sorry, Prabhuji, Vedic path is nothing but Gyan Yoga. Yeah?
A Vedic path is no. See, Vedic path is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is there. If these are the paths are there, but what is additional here is bhakti. Bhakti is therefore is not given here in the Vedic. Means Vedas they may be given, but they are not providing any path. It's all by causeless mercy of spiritual master and Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada writes, na, if by causeless mercy or by fortunate condition you may get the association of pure devotee, then you forgo all such path of Vedas. मतलब ये पाथ ही अलग है. वेदास तो जनरली यही पाथ देता है आपको. क्या देता है? कर्म योग, फिर ज्ञान योग, फिर ध्यान योग, फिर जाओ ऊपर, फिर बाद में भक्ति लेके ऊपर जाना. भक्ति तो चाहिए ही चाहिए ऊपर परफेक्शन के लिए, तो भक्ति बाद में है. लेकिन यहाँ पे कृष्ण भक्ति को शुरू से ही प्रभुपाद इंट्रोड्यूस कर दे रहे हैं, कर्मयोग में इंट्रोड्यूस कर दे रहे हैं. इसलिए, और कर्मयोग मतलब, अभी देखो बोलता हूँ भगवत इसलिए कंफ्यूजिंग है अभी समझ में आ रहा है ये पाथ क्या है, ये पहले ये दिस पाथ इज गिवन बाय स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, रूप गोस्वामी पाथ, or any devotional path, fully tailor made for us, all of us. Okay, 64 regulative principles, then 4 regulative principles, then chanting 16 round, ये वेदास में भी दिया होगा, लेकिन इसको बना के दिया है हमको अलग से, और इसको बोला गया कि ये पाथ है, ये ऐसे बना दिया गया आपके लिए, बट दिस इज नॉट मेड एनी पाथ इन द वेदास। ऐसा नहीं बनाया कि भाई 4 नियम पालन करना सोलह, ये वेदास में है ही नहीं। वेदास में इधर उधर मिलेगा आपको बिखरा हुआ इधर उधर, लेकिन स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर ने उसे पाथ ही बना दिया अलग से, बोला कि यही पाथ फॉलो करो बस। नाउ दिस इज अ कॉजलेस मर्सी, दिस इज, यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड, वन पाथ गॉड मेक्स थ्रू वेदास, वेदास के थ्रू गॉड बनाते पाथ, ये करो वो करो वो करो। उनका भक्त उनसे ज्यादा कृपालु होता है, बोलता है भगवान आपका पाथ बहुत मुश्किल है कलयुग में, हम दूसरा पाथ बना के देंगे। बोला हाँ ठीक है करो, तो देन ही मेक्स द अनदर पाथ, दैट इज कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। Therefore Prabhupada, you see what he writes, karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. Why is writing karma yoga in Krishna? And the 5th chapter का नाम भी वही है, कर्म योगा in Krishna consciousness. So there is a difference between karma yoga in Vedic path and there is a difference between karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. ये अलग है, कर्म योगा in Krishna consciousness मतलब भक्ति वाला हो गया ये, और कर्म योगा जो नॉर्मल वाला है, ठीक है, अब भगवान को ऑफर कर रहे हो, फिर आप ज्ञान योगी बनोगे, फिर उसके ऊपर जाओगे, फिर ऊपर जाओगे, ऐसा करके जाओगे, वो सीढ़ी वाला पार्ट है। और हमारा क्या है, लिफ्ट वाला पार्ट है, लिफ्ट, एलिवेटर एंड स्टेयर्स। स्टेयर्स मीन्स कर्म योग, ज्ञान योग, ध्यान योग, देन भक्ति योग। एंड हियर व्हाट कृष्णा इज सेइंग, कर्म योग यू डू इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, और बुद्धि होगा बेसिकली, एंड देन गो आप ऊपर चले जाओ डायरेक्टली। ये है एलिवेटर पाथ। ओके, so Prabhupada is sometimes using the Vedic terms and trying to make us understand the Vedic path, and at the same time he is adding his Krishna consciousness path also. अब यहाँ पे कहीं लिखा नहीं है कृष्णा कॉन्शियस, कहीं लिखा है क्या, लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी क्यों लिख रहे हैं यहाँ पे कर्मयोग? बिकॉज प्रभुपाद wants to make it sure that people don't simply read Bhagavad Gita but follow Bhagavad Gita. Do you have the ज्ञान योग path today? Who is a guru for ज्ञान योग? Who is a guru for ध्यान योग? कोई है क्या गुरु? है ही नहीं कोई गुरु, आगे कोई गुरु नहीं है। सो ये वाला जो पाथ है इसमें आगे जाके लिंक टूट जाएगा, बट यहाँ पे जो पाथ बता रहे भगवान भी वही बता रहे। डोंट थिंक दैट कृष्णा इज आल्सो टेलिंग द वैदिक पाथ, नो 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 नो। कृष्णा अल्टीमेटली गाइड्स अर्जुन टू दैट ओनली, सर्वधर्मान पर सब कुछ छोड़ के मेरे को शरण लो। कृष्णा इज आल्सो गाइडिंग द सेम थिंग, यू फॉलो मी, वॉट एवर आई से जस्ट टू डू, दैट इज ओनली बुद्धि योगा ओनली, दैट इज भक्ति योगा। कृष्णा आल्सो सेइंग द सेम थिंग, व्हाट प्रभुपाद इज आल्सो सेइंग सेम थिंग, बट प्रभुपाद का कंपैशन ये है कि वो शुरू से ही समझा रहे हैं। कृष्णा थोड़ा डाइवर्ट कर सकते हैं हमको, पर शुरू से ही प्रभुपाद वो पर्पट में लाके बता रहे हैं कि you have to work in Krishna consciousness, you have to work in Krishna consciousness. That Krishna consciousness process is given by a spiritual master who is in the path of bhakti yoga, like that. Okay, and normal karma yoga, it is also given by some guru, no doubt, but then he elevates you to jnana yoga, then jnana yoga, then jnana yoga means again to go to ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga yoga process is very difficult to follow actually nowadays. Who can follow, not follow. So but even though Krishna mentions the path, आगे जाके आपको आएगा ज्ञान योगा, फिर ध्यान योगा भी आने वाला है, बट वो फॉलो कोई नहीं कर सकता। इसलिए भगवान अल्टीमेटली उसको, अर्जुन को निपट के बोलते हैं तू भक्ति योगा ही फॉलो कर, बस जस्ट डू एनीथिंग यू वांट टू डू फॉर मी ओनली यू डू, एंड दैट कृष्णा सेज एज कर्म योगा, एंड प्रभुपाद सेज कर्म योगा इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस. So for us to not get confused, understand that we have to do karma yoga in Krishna consciousness. Simple. Okay. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior. So that is why our attachment to spiritual master becomes very important, or basically the following the this disciplic succession becomes very important. If we do not follow, then very difficult actually to protect ourselves, because this is marg is only that disciplic succession. This you will not find here and there in the Vedic literature. Very difficult. But Acharyas have made this whole path for all of us. Okay. It is instead of becoming a pseudo transcendentalist for the sake of wanton living and sense enjoyment, it is far better to remain in one's own business and execute the purpose of life, which is to get free from material bondage and enter into the kingdom of God. The whole institution of Varna and Ashram is designed to help us to reach this goal of life. The householders can also reach the destination by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. So regulated service has to be there. Regulation in service. Then one can, regulation means what? Again, prescribed duty according to regulation. Then regulation means every day what we are chanting 16 now, that is regulation. Following four regulative principles, that is regulation. We cannot eat anywhere here and there, that is regulation. So in the similar way, regulated service in Krishna consciousness. So some service we should surely do for only for Krishna. Then we will be purified. For self-realization, one can live in a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastra and continue carrying out his business without attachment, and in that way make progress. See, tomorrow if in ISKCON Varnashram comes, then that Varnashram again will be different from Vedic literature. Again, because it will be ordained by spiritual master. हमारे पाथ में spiritual master बहुत important है, because he is giving the mercy and he is giving the direction that you have to follow in this way. By following that, we get purified. Okay, we are not directly following the exactly Vedic path of Varnashrama. No, like Bhakti Shastri Maharaj said, Daivi Varnashrama we have to follow. Means not demigod Varnashrama. We have to worship demigods. No demigod worship. We have to worship Krishna only, or Vishnu Tattva. All mantras should be filled up with that only, even though we are following Varnashrama, because that is called Daivi Varnashrama. We have to focus Krishna only as a center. So according to one's Varna, engage yourself in the service, but to please Krishna only, not that some mantra for demigod we are chanting. So therefore our acharyas have replaced many such rituals with the names of Narsimha, Krishna in Hari Bhakti Vilas, and many Vaishnava this culture pranalis, where Gopal Bhatt Goswami has also mentioned that householders should do this thing, this mantra they should chant, this process they should follow. So unless that becomes more explicitly executed in ISKCON, one should follow whatever is given till now by Srila Prabhupada. But for more clarification, that may also come later. For more clarification and for living our life in a more congenial way, in a proper way, that should also be required. वो भी चाहिए. Prabhupada says, sincere sweeper in the street is far better than a charlatan meditator who meditates only for the sake of making a living. Yes, so we should always inspire people to do their duties. Now somebody is now what is the value of our preaching? Are we preaching just to collect people for Krishna consciousness, or we are preaching people to bring them to their prescribed duty? What do you say? What do you preach? If somebody is not doing his duty properly, how would you preach? कौन बोलेगा answer? How would you preach if somebody is not doing his duty, his or her duty properly? What will you say in Bhagavad Gita? What is given? What you should be doing? Yes, anyone?
First, we should teach them about the Karma Yoga.
Okay, Karma Yoga. So what is Karma Yoga?
That you should perform your duties and ultimately center should be Krishna.
This is right. Yes. So we are balancing here, correct? Do your duty and offer a result to Krishna. That is what the whole essence. So do your duty, offer the result to Krishna. Now he will say, but I do not know how to offer. What do you mean by offering? So offering means, how would you offer? Unless first you know about Krishna, then only you can offer. Then you have to learn about Krishna first. Then come for device, learn about Krishna. Then what? then chant some holy name about Krishna, then what? Follow 4 regulative principles. So this is the way we can offer to Krishna basically, because offering does not happen like if anything can anybody Tom Dick Harry can offer to God Lord. For offering of Brahmana is required, correct? Lord is so superior, is a big personality, pure personality. How can we offer anything? So that requires some rules to be followed before we offer something. So one has to purify oneself, and then one gives his offering to spiritual master. Spiritual master offers in the parampara, and parampara offers to the Lord ultimately. This is how the offering goes. हम थोड़ी भोजन ऑफर करते, हम तो गुरु को भोजन देते, गुरु आगे चल के ऑफर करते रहते. This is the way offering goes to Krishna. We are not so pure. So it means we have to first connect to the Guru Parampara by taking their method. So we have to inspire people. Do your duty and offer the result to Krishna. Then how will you offer? Acha, some people say, I don't want to follow Krishna consciousness. Then we can say, okay, at least come to temple sometimes, hear some lectures, come for festivals, give some charity. So like that you inspire a person. Basically connect him to Krishna also. Don't only inspire him for duty. Duty without Krishna is useless. कोई मतलब नहीं हो, वैसे भी ड्यूटी भी नहीं करेगा वो, बाद में वो भी छोड़ देगा. नियतं कुरु कर्मत्वं कर्मज्यायोः कर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणा. Yes.
Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
See, many times when people hear some sloka of Gita, they will take it out of context and then they will quote this sloka. बोलेंगे देखो तुम ड्यूटी नहीं करते हो ना, देखो क्या लिखा भगवान ने, नियतम कुरु कर्म त्वम कर्म जायो हे कर्मणा. Nobody understand in what context it is mentioned. शरीर को मेंटेन करने के लिए हमें कर्म करना है, ये भगवान बोल रहे हैं, correct? But before that, what he has spoken, that you have to work in Krishna consciousness, control your mind and senses. So don't become mithyachari and stop your karmindriya. Rather engage your karmindriya in work for Krishna. And then he adds this one more statement, Arjun, even to maintain your body you have to work. So just what is the context? Before he has said some more important statement, and then he is adding a supplement here. To maintain your body you have to work. But some supplements are taken as a compliment, full knowledge. इसी को ले लेते सब लोग, यही है सब कुछ. It's a more primary or more fundamental, नहीं है, fundamental नहीं है. Okay, so here, do your duties for purification, attainment of jnana and maintaining your bodies. So basically in 2-3 sloka Krishna says, why will you have to do your duty? For purification. By purification jnana will awaken, and then also for maintaining our body. If somebody is only doing for maintaining body, वो यही करेगा भगवान यहाँ पे कि ये थोड़ी बोल रहे हैं, वो बोल रहे हैं कि it's better than not working. If somebody is lazy fellow, for him, what is the first instruction? First get up and start working. Then once you start working, what is the next instruction? Offer your result to Krishna. And when he start offering, he becomes purified. And then he will attain knowledge by hearing the lectures and by meeting with the devotees, so many things. So these are some step-by-step instructions actually. So there are many pseudo meditators who misrepresent themselves as being the great professional man of high parentage, and who falsely pose that they have sacrificed everything for the sake of advancement of spiritual life. Krishna does not want Arjuna to become such a pretender. Rather, the Lord desired Arjuna to perform his prescribed duty as set forth for a Kshatriya. Arjuna was a householder and military general, and therefore it was better for him to remain as such and perform his religious duty as prescribed for the householder Kshatriya. So Arjuna is not told to give up his varna and become sannyasi. Arjuna is said that you remain Kshatriya, a householder, a military general, and do your duty without attachment to result. Same thing. Work should not be given up capriciously, means whimsically, without purification of materialistic propensity. Because after all, one has to maintain one's body and soul together, correct? Anyone who is in this material is certainly possessed of the impure propensity for lording it over material nature, or in other words, for sense gratification. Such polluted propensities have to be cleared. Without doing so through prescribed duty, one should never attempt to become a so-called transcendentalist, renouncing work and living at the cost of others. So yes, prescribed duty one has to do. Without that, one should not try to become transcendentalist, renouncing work and living at the cost of others. So this creates actually one kind of disturbance in society, that people without proper purification, they have taken to renounce order, and just did not want to work. That's why. This is not correct. This is not good actually, because one has to maintain one's body. So Prabhupada also says that, see, when you take some money from some working person or who's a householder, you become indebted to him or her or a family. So then you have to give something to them. Do you have the knowledge? If you don't have knowledge, then what happens? Then you're not doing any service. Means the renounced person, he should deliver knowledge, because he has renounced the work, he has purified the heart, the knowledge has awakened in his heart, and so he has taken renunciation. So now renunciation, what is the wealth he has? That is Gyan, because he has given up the wealth of karma before. He has a wealth of Gyan. That Gyan he can hand over to those whom he is taking from. But if he does not have Gyan only, he is simply sitting with a bowl for money, so then that is again sinful activity. Because if he is a renounced order but sitting with a bowl, that is not good. Again, not to misunderstand this, like madhukari, like Goswamis used to go for madhukari. So okay, madhukari or begging is a profession of mendicants only. So they keep on madhukari, means one home, they take something small, and they have to also maintain their body, and so therefore they beg alms. So that is correct. But he has no spiritual connection, he is not elevated in knowledge, no spiritual activity. He simply begging and simply sit, like you see in Vrindavan also, many people simply sit there and Baba kuch to de do. Means they do not work only, they simply sit along the road and they collect the alms. So that is not correct. That is Bhikhari actually. That is taking to renunciation, there is no meaning only, he has no knowledge. But if somebody is moving from one home to another home, enlightening them, and then he is collecting some alms for his maintenance, that is okay. That is his vritti, sannyas vritti, means he has to collect to maintain this body. So that is allowed. Now Krishna, at last he says, this section is ending of Arjuna asks the question. What is the question? Karma is better or Jnana is better? So Krishna says, Karma yogena yoginam. That is better for you, Arjuna. Even though both are the same, people in this world have two nishtha. Jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. Some people try to attain the absolute truth through Jnana process, some through karma process. And for you, karma is better, because if you do not do your work, you will not purify your heart and Jnana will not arise. Secondly, you cannot maintain your body also. So how can you give up your work? You have to maintain your body, you have to purify your heart, so do karma. Now at last he says how to do the karma, how to become free from all the attachments to result. Yagnarthat karma nonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Yes, Prabhu.
Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage.
This is very important purport. Yes, Prabhu, padhiye. You can read.
Since one has to work even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for the particular social position and the quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Yajna means Lord Vishnu or sacrificial performance. All sacrificial performance also are meant for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. The Vedas enjoin Yagno vi Vishnu. In other words, the same purpose is served whether one performs prescribed yajna or directly serves Lord Vishnu, Krishna consciousness is therefore performance of a yajna as it is prescribed in this verse. The Varnashram institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu. Varnashram Macharyat Purushen Para Paraman Vishnur Aradhya CC Madhya 8.58 Vishnu Puran 8.9. Therefore, one has to work for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other works done in the material world will be a cause of bondage, for both good and evil work have their reactions, and any reactions binds the performer. Therefore, one has to work in the Krishna consciousness to satisfy the Krishna or Vishnu. And while the performing such activity, one is in liberated stage. This is the great art of doing work, and in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Lord Krishna or under the direct instruction of Lord Krishna himself, under whom Arjuna had the opportunity to work. Nothing should be performed for sense gratification, but everything should be done for the satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will not only save one from the reactions of the work, but also gradually elevate one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord, which alone can raise one to the kingdom of God.
Very clearly mentioned. Now the here yagya will start from here. Hence onward, yagya. We will learn about yagya. Yagnarthat karmano nyatra. If any karma which is done not for yagya, yagyo by Vishnu, means yagya is Vishnu only. If any karma is not done for Vishnu or Krishna, that karma will cause bandhan. Okay, tadartham, therefore Arjuna, tadartham, for that artham means for yagya artham, karma karo, and then become mukta sangaha, become free from all kinds of attachments. This is similar thing. Krishna says, Sadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam braja. Same thing is saying, work for me. Just whatever I say. So Krishna बीच बीच में एक हैवी स्टेटमेंट डालते हैं, ऐसा करो. This is heavy. It's like that. It's telling everything what you have to do. Just yagna arthat karmananyatra. Just yagya ke liye. Now, Vedas provide many yagyas. But who is a yagya purush? Vishnu only. So Krishna is saying directly work for me. Don't go indirect work. Indirect मत करो, directly मेरे लिए करो. Demigod को करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Because यज्ञ में demigod को भी satisfy करना. तो कृष्ण बोलते हैं मेरे को किया तो सब कुछ satisfy हो जाता है. All demigods can be satisfied because I am a yagya purush. Just satisfy me. Okay. So in Varnashram institution also aims at the satisfying Vishnu, but Varnashram में indirect satisfaction होता है विष्णु का, direct नहीं होता है. But Bhakti में direct होता है, because I said earlier, Varnashram means you have Varna, Brahman, Kshatriya, and so accordingly you have been given work, and that work you have to do the work and give result to Krishna. So there is some attachment to your Varna, ashram, and some work has been given. But direct devotional service means you are not worried about Varna ashram, just trying to satisfy Krishna according to the order of spiritual master. Or spiritual master says, do this thing, chant holy name, offer bhoga to Lord. So that is beyond Varnashram actually. In Varnashram also people can offer food, but they are still attached to the work actually. But here he is fully dependent upon Krishna and spiritual master. There is a difference in both. Okay, so Varnashrama institution also aims at satisfying Lord Vishnu, but indirectly. But Krishna consciousness try to satisfy Lord directly. Varnashram acharvata purushena parhapuman Vishnur aradhyate pantha nanyat tattosa karanat. There is no other way to satisfy Vishnu. See, this was when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India, to Madhvach Sampradaya. And then he met with some followers of Madhvacharya, means Tattvadis. And then he asked the same question. So, what is the path of self-realization or attaining kingdom of God? So then they said this, Varnashram acharvata purushena parhapuman Vishnu aradhyate pantha nanyat tattosa karanat. Only through giving one's result of one's activity to Vishnu. Nanyat tattosa karanat means there is no other path. This sloka says. You have to follow the Varnashram and then offer your result to Krishna. That is the only way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no. This is the lower path. He said, श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम पाद सेवनम अर्चनम वंदनम दास्यम सख्यम आत्मनिवेदनम इति पुंसार्पितो विष्णु भक्तिस्ते नवलक्षणा क्रिएत भगवती अद्धा तन्मन्ये धीत उत्तमम. This is a direct path. This is a devotional path. This is what we are discussing. This is given by spiritual master and Krishna. This is separate from Varnashrama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this is the way to attain the love of Godhead. So our path is this, and their path may be follow the karma Varnashram. That is indirect path, and that is not also pure bhakti. Don't think that that is pure bhakti. No. Varnashram is not pure bhakti, mixed bhakti. But this is pure bhakti. What is pure bhakti? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. This is pure Navvidha bhakti. Pure bhakti. There is a difference. And you can satisfy Vishnu through Navvidha bhakti or through Varnashram. That is dependent upon which path you follow. Therefore, one has to work for satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done. अच्छा, somebody may get confused कि हम follow. Again मैंने पहले बोल दिया है, इसमें confuse नहीं होना. वर्णाश्रम अगर हम भी follow करते हैं तो वो भी pure devotion में आएगा कब? जब उसको गुरु उसको assign करेंगे. Means again we are not going to follow exactly the varnashram of the Vedas. Whatever is conducive for Krishna consciousness, that only part we will take up. That is will be called Daivi Varnashrama. So ये high terms हैं, but यहाँ पे बताने का जरूरत पड़ता है कभी कभी. So you take care of this. So our process is Saranam Kirtanam only. We do anything we do ना, we do Saranam Kirtanam only. डीटी वर्शिप भी करना है, श्रवणम कीर्तनम के साथ ही होता है. हमेशा हमारा मार्ग यही है. Without Shravanam Kirtanam, no activity is complete. You have to keep chanting the holy name all the time. Chanting the holy name, worshipping the Lord, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. So goal should be Krishna all the time. Direct Krishna, no indirect Krishna. पहले मैं कर्म करूँगा, फिर कर्म करके फिर भगवान के मंदिर जाऊँगा, फिर भगवान को कुछ उसमें से ऑफर करूँगा. ऐसा नहीं. कर्म भी कृष्ण का ही है, तुम्हारा एंडेवर भी कृष्ण का ही है. ये जो समझ जाता है वो बुद्धि योग पे पहुंच जाता है डायरेक्ट. वन हु अंडरस्टैंड माई एवरीथिंग बिलोंग्स टू कृष्णा. मारो भी राखो भी जो इच्छा तुहार. भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर, ही इज डूइंग द ड्यूटी ऑफ अ जज, बट ही इज बुद्धि योगा. ही इज नॉट, ही मे बी वर्किंग एज अ फैमिली मैन, बट ही इज अ बुद्धि योगा पर्सन, प्यूरिफाइड पर्सन, लिबरेटेड पर्सन. Okay. One has to work for satisfaction of Vishnu. Any other work done in material world will be the cause of bondage. For good and evil, work have their reaction. So we have to basically worry about how much percentage of my work or my own self is engaged in Krishna consciousness. That much work will have no reaction, and other work will bind us. But no issue, no problem. Keep doing Krishna consciousness. That work will also slowly become Krishna conscious. This is the great art of doing work, and in the beginning this process requires a very expert. So this is very important. Expert guidance, therefore it is required. So Arjuna had a guidance of Krishna. So therefore Prabhupada says the one should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance of a devotee of Krishna. Nothing should be done for sense gratification, but everything should be done for satisfaction of Krishna. This practice will only save one from reaction of work. Just see very clear. Yahi practice. Nothing should be done for satisfaction, for sense gratification, and everything should be done for Krishna. So here, somebody says, this is Mahabharata. Karmana badhyate jantu. By doing karma, one becomes bound. Jantu is bound. Therefore, I shall become bound by performing action. Mahabharata says. No, action offered to Supreme Lord does not bind one. This is explained in this verse. This verse says, na yagnarthat karmano. Dharma offered to scriptural duties, offered to Vishnu without personal desire is called yagya. Scriptural duties, when you offer to Vishnu without personal desire is called yagya. Person become bound by karma by any other action for any other purpose. Therefore, you should perform actions, karmacharan, for the accomplishing such duties, tadartham. Now question may come, even if I perform action which are offered to Vishnu, if I perform them with desires, then I will still become bound. I am offering the action, I am doing the work which will be offered to Krishna, but still I have some desire. So whether I will be bound by work, one should become devoid of desire of the result. बोला है, मतलब one has to become free from result, desire. Then one is free from reactions. Otherwise थोड़ा reaction आएगा. My dear Uddhava, a person who is situated in prescribed duty, properly worshipping by Vedic scripture, but not desiring the fruitive result of such worship, will not go to the heavenly planets. समझ में आया ना? हेवनली प्लैनेट में कौन जाएगा? जिसको कुछ इच्छा है, भगवान को ऑफर भी कर रहा है बट सम डिजायर है, तो हेवनली प्लैनेट में जाएगा. अगर नहीं इच्छा है तो उससे ऊपर चला जाएगा, भगवान के धाम. सिमिलरली बाय नॉट परफॉर्मिंग फॉरबिडन एक्टिविटी ही विल नॉट गो टू हेल. लॉर्ड कृष्ण इज सेइंग टू उद्धवा इन 11th canto. Means everything depends upon one's desire actually. What desire one has while doing one duty. Duty should not be condemned. Same duty is there, but desire क्या है? Desire के हिसाब से हमको गोल मिलेगा. Yes. So okay, next some Mataji can read. Some Mataji who has not read earlier. पहले नहीं पढ़ा कोई. Any Mataji will read. पुष्पा माताजी will read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
हाँ ठीक है, आप पढ़िए. ओके. सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाचो प्रजापति अनेन प्रसविध्यं प्रसिद्ध्यम् एष वो अस्त्व इष्ट कामदुक्. Yes.
In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent fourth generation of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yajna sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon your everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation."
So this is a part of Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Now in this section 10 to 16 shloka, we are going to learn how one has to advance from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Means in the beginning of this shloka, Krishna will explain the Karma Kanda process, and at last he will take to Karma Yoga. Now you will find therefore jumping happens in the scripture discussion, because just now Krishna has said, do all work for me, yagya, and with no desire. Finish. खत्म हो गया वहीं पे. अब Arjun may ask question, अरे I have some desire, then what I will do? Still there are some yagya to be done. If you have certain desire, then there is other path again. So what is that path? Karma Kanda path. Now, but for devotees, what is the path? Akama sarva kamama moksha kamo dharati. No problem. Even if you have some desire, don't give up worshipping Krishna. Still serve Krishna. No problem. Krishna will purify the desire. कोई issue नहीं है. But for Arjuna, he is saying there is a karma kanda path. But naturally, you will find in purport Prabhupada they still explain about Krishna only. Krishna will explain Krishna and also demigod, but Prabhupada will not leave Krishna. He will explain Krishna surely. Sahayagya Prajasistva Purovacha Prajapati. Now, who is this Prajapati? Many times some people think that Prajapati is Brahma. No, he is not a Brahma, he is a Krishna himself. So, in the beginning of creation, this section, actually, why this material world has been made? To encourage sacrifice. To encourage sacrifice. Why? Like, sacrifice if somebody does, then in this section you will read, one will attain one's material necessities through sacrifice, and also one will be purified through sacrifice. Now in previous section what we learned, by doing niskam karma yoga you will be purified, and then in that purified heart jnana will arise. Yes. Now Krishna will tell, he is introducing another thing, yagya. Yagya means same, the word is changing. What is that? Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhava yagnat bhavati parjanyo yagnaha karma samudbhava. Now just see, what is yagya? Yagya is When karma done for the pleasure of Vishnu, that is called yagya. And previous section, what Krishna was saying, do karma and offer the result to me, or offer the work to me also. So basically he has combined the word and saying yagya. अब इस सेक्शन में यज्ञ के बारे में बात चलेगी. तो यज्ञ क्या है? कर्म करो भगवान के लिए, अब बिना कोई डिजायर के, वो यज्ञ होता है. या डेमी गॉड का अगर इंक्लूड करते हो तो ओके, इवन इफ यू वर्शिपिंग डेमी गॉड, गिव समथिंग टू देम. इवन इफ यू हैव सम डिजायर फॉर मटेरियल रिजल्ट, you offer something to them, do some yagya for them. Yagya means offer sacrifice to them, and then you will be purified. Okay, so like that. Ultimately, no yagya without Vishnu can be complete, because yagya purush is Vishnu only. So therefore, saha yagya praja srishtva means यज्ञ के साथ ही सृष्टि की रचना की गई थी. बिना यज्ञ के रचना नहीं हुआ सृष्टि का. मतलब यज्ञ मतलब कर्म करना है भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए, या उसी को बोलते हैं धर्म. धर्म मतलब भगवान को प्रसन्न करने के लिए कर्म करना. बिना धर्म के सृष्टि बनाई नहीं जा सकती. सह यज्ञ प्रजा सृष्टवा. तो यज्ञ को आगे यू कैन से encourage to encourage yagya or to encourage dharma, this whole creation has been done. So because living entity have come for sense enjoyment, and God has made sense enjoyment subordinate to dharma or yagya. Like a child may say, mama, papa, I want to play. Then what they will say, okay, you go for play, but you have to come back within 1 hour. Then only I will allow you to play. I mean, this is called, you first satisfy me, do yagya, what I am saying, and then I will allow you. So then living entity is also allowed to enjoy, but also he is purified. This is the whole process. But now what people are doing, I only want enjoyment, I don't want to listen to anyone. This is sinful. ये प्रॉब्लम है, इसलिए लोग सफ़र कर रहे हैं. आज की दुनिया में क्यों लोग सफ़र कर रहे हैं? नो यज्ञ. नो यज्ञ मीन्स यू विल गेट ऑल रिसोर्सेज चंक्ड. सभी कुछ कम हो जाएगा. All will be restrained, all resources will be restrained by nature, and now we see means the children or the grown up people, so much bodily problem. इतना bodily problem क्यों हो रहा है? अरे सब नेचर डिक्रीज कर रहा है हमारे बॉडी के स्ट्रेंथ को. क्यों हम यज्ञ नहीं कर रहे? खाने में कुछ स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है, खा के कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. कितना भी खाओ, काजू खाओ, किशमिश खाओ, बादाम खाओ, वो शरीर में ताकत नहीं आ रहा है. हमको क्या लग रहा है, हम पेस्टिसाइड डालेंगे, इंसेक्टिसाइड डालेंगे, एंड देन विल ग्रो नाइस काजू विदाउट डूइंग यज्ञ. देन नेचर विल से, ओ माय डियर सन, you just grow your kaju and I will take away the nutrients from kaju, and you eat the chilka of kaju, simply eat the external part. That is what happening. We are eating the same constituents, or you can say the same external part, but we are not getting any power only. सभी कुछ कम हो रहा है. तो nature is also very clever ना, very clever. So yajna has to be done. By yajna only we will get strength in mind, strength in senses, strength in our work, physical, and then we can satisfy others also. This is important. Yajna has to be done. Without God being satisfied, how can we satisfy or keep ourselves healthy? Not possible. So yajna has to be done. The material creation by the Lord of the Creator Vishnu is a chance offered to conditioned soul to come back to Godhead. All living entity within material creation are conditioned by material nature. Because of their forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu. So, okay, somewhere we have to become subordinate. So we have forgotten Vishnu, so we are now subordinate to Maya. The Vedic principles are to help us understand the eternal relation, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Vedesya sarver ahameva vedya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that through Vedas I am to be known. Whatever you follow Vedas, Krishna has to be known. Otherwise, we have incomplete knowledge. So the Lord says the purpose of Veda is to understand Him. In the Vedic hymns it is said, Patim Visva Atma Ishwaram. So now, Shriyapatir Yagyapatir Prajapatir Dhiyampatir Lokapatir Dharapatir Patir Gatis Chandaka Vrishni Satvatam Prasidatam Me Bhagavan Satam Pati. This is 2.4.20 Sukadeva Goswami says. So who is the Shriyapati, who is the Yagyapati, who is the Prajapati? Krishna only. So Prajapati is mentioned here, the word, that is Vishnu. Prajapati means he is a praja. All the born progenies, unke controller कौन है? Vishnu है. Even the Brahma is a controller, looks like, but above Brahma is Vishnu, like that. So Prabhupada says that the Lord created this material world to enable conditioned soul to learn how to perform yagyas for the satisfaction of Vishnu, so that while in the material world they can live very comfortably without anxiety, and after finishing the present material body they can enter into kingdom of God. तो क्या प्रोसेस है? यज्ञ करो, सुखी रहो, और फिर यहाँ से निकल के उधर भी जाके सुखी रहो. ये तरीका है पूरा. This is the whole program for conditioned soul. By performance of yajna, the conditioned soul gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all aspects, all respects. That is why if people are not taking to Krishna consciousness, then we should first introduce yajna, Harinam. Because Prabhupada says first, after yajna, when they do yajna, they become conscious, then become Krishna conscious and godly. तो पहले यज्ञ कराओ लोगों से. People are very much sinful, very sinful. What is the yajna? Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So distribute prasadam to them and do Hare Krishna. So in the homes, we should try to chant together Harinam Sankirtan, or we can take up some people are going for Harinam, we should join them, and then we should go for Harinam together. Either we should do in home together or we should do outside. So this is called congregation chanting of holy name. So 2-3 families can be coming in one home and then doing together. That is also Harinam Sankirtan, but that should be done actually. Why? Then it's mentioned. So new people can be called and just okay, come to our home. Okay, we'll do some Sankirtan. चलो बैठो बस 20 मिनट के लिए बैठो, संकीर्तन करेंगे, फिर आपको प्रसाद देंगे और आप ही चले जाना अपने घर पे. It has to be done. Then there will be shanti and happiness in home and in their home also. Sometimes people may not like philosophy directly, they like culture. Our culture is arti, yajna, prasadam, dancing. This is our culture. So introduce people through culture if they are not ready for philosophy directly. So we should do that. We should invite people, and slowly when we start doing yajna of Aarti, Narsim Aarti ho gaya, then this Hare Krishna ho gaya, then slowly people will ask, do you have something to read also? Yes, we have reading also. So then we start reading also for them. This is the way preaching will start. So Prabhupada says by performance of yajna, they will gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respect. And in this age, same thing, chanting of holy name is a yajna. Krishna Varanam Tisa Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagne Sankirtane Prayajanti Sumedasa. One who is intelligent in this age, he will worship the Lord by performing Sankirtan Yajna. Means one has to become intelligent. अब बोलने के बाद भी इंटेलिजेंट नहीं बन रहा कोई तो भाई बात अलग है. इंटेलिजेंट मतलब one has to do yajna. One has to do yajna. Okay, somebody say, Prabhuji, I am chanting holy name. That is yajna. No, yajna here means you are doing, but he is called Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan मतलब साथ में करना यज्ञ. Samyak Sankirtan, Samyak Kirtan. Kirtan means together. So yajna does not happen individual. Japa yajna is also one yajna, that is understandable. That is for our own purification. But we have to purify our home, purify the people around us, and we will learn. That is including into our some yajna, like Pancha Maha Yajna is also there. So that also, because we have a debt towards relatives, we have debt towards our neighbors, we have debt towards saintly people, we have debt towards our pitras. So all these debts have to be cleared off by doing this yajna. जो इसमें शामिल हो जाएगा, हमारा debt भी clear होता जाएगा. So this is important. Therefore, one with the impure heart should perform action without desire rather than give up the action. Okay, ठीक है. Now if you cannot be without desire in action, then you should still perform the action offered to Vishnu with desire rather than give up action completely. This is explained in the 7 verses. Okay, as you were mentioning, somebody who has certain desire and still wants to don't leave Krishna consciousness, or he wants to still follow the Vedic process also, then Krishna gives him this path. Okay, no problem. Even if you have desire, continue. Go ahead. Do the yajna. Long ago, along with Yajna, Brahma created the creatures qualified for offering to Vishnu and said, increase more and more the population by this dharma or Yajna. May this Yajna bestow all the desired enjoyment, Ishta Kamaduk. By this, he indicated that they had material desires. So, Brahma is saying that he produced living entities who can perform Yajna. And then he said, you do this, increase the population by this yajna. So see, surely there are many dharmas for. So Brahma's his foremost worry is to increase the population in the creation. So therefore, how to increase population? One has something to eat also, na, and one should have certain duty to do also. So then that eating on duty, doing duty, everything is called yajna here. So therefore, encourage yajna, and then you will also find progeny will increase, you will also find prosperity will increase, everything, because you are trying to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Then Ishta Kamaduk, everything will come. So living entities should not give up yajna. This is the whole instruction here. Devan bhava yatanena te deva bhavayantu parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaha paramavapsyatah.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, padhiye.
The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
Now see here directly words have come demigods. Devan. Devan bhavayatanena. ते देवा भावयंतु. अभी देव तक का वर्ड नहीं आया था, अभी आ गया यहाँ पे, क्योंकि अब नाउ ये कर्मकांड चल रहा है सेक्शन कि आप देवताओं को सेटिस्फाई करोगे तो वो आपको सेटिस्फाई करेंगे, एंड सो देन प्रॉस्पेरिटी विल बी स्प्रेड एवरीवेयर. So Prabhupada writes, who are the devatas? They are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water and all benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of a living entity is entrusted to demigod, who are innumerable assistant in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of God. Deva, Narayana, Angaja. Deva are what? They are Narayana Angaja. Means they are part of Narayan's body. Deva. So if somebody wants to satisfy Narayan, so people say, okay, Deva Narayana Angaja means simply satisfy Deva and you will satisfy Vishnu. Okay, that is one understanding. Krishna said, directly satisfy me, I will satisfy them also. So that is devotional service. Directly satisfy Krishna and they will be satisfied. Yatha taror mulani sechanena tripayanti tat skanda bhujopasakha pranopaharacha yathendriyanam tatheva sarvarhanam achyutejya. Like when you water the root of a tree, all the branch and leaves and twigs of that tree will also get water. In the similar way, if you offer directly to Lord Krishna, all the devas who are Angaja of Narayan or Vishnu or Krishna, they will also get satisfied. So this is a direct path of devotional service. Karma Kanda path is first you give to demigods, and then demigods, through demigods it will reach to Vishnu. Indirect path. At the same time, this indirect path is given to those people who do not have sufficient information about Krishna, and they are too much in hurry to get their results. Vishnu थोड़ा time लगाते हैं, ये demigods तुरंत दे देते हैं. So some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy the particular demigod, but even in doing so, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all the yajnas as the chief beneficiary. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is a beneficiary of all the yajnas. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of Yajnapati is the chief purpose of all the yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of these different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in supply of natural products. So I just mentioned, we are really having the lack of bodily immunity in our life. Earlier people so strong, पत्थर भी खा के पचा लेते थे पहले लोग, है कि नहीं? पत्थर भी खाते पच जाता था. अभी क्या पचता ही नहीं कुछ. क्यों नहीं पच रहा है? हमारा स्ट्रेंथ कम हो रहा है. क्यों? यज्ञ नहीं कर रहे. यज्ञ करना पड़ेगा. यज्ञ करेंगे तो बॉडी इम्यूनिटी बढ़ेगा, तेज बढ़ेगा, ओजस बढ़ेगा, सेंसुअल स्ट्रेंथ, मेंटल स्ट्रेंथ, फिजिकल स्ट्रेंथ, एवरीथिंग विल इंक्रीज. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर लिविंग अ प्रॉस्परस लाइफ. अदरवाइज सब एकदम वेजिटेबल की तरह जन्म ले रहे हैं और मर जा रहे हैं. almost आजकल actually civilization means number of doctors should decrease. Number of doctors should decrease. But what is happening now? The doctor's business or doctor education is increasing. It is more beneficial. Engineers are not getting job, but doctors are getting job. Why doctors are getting job? Because more people are becoming sick. है ना? तो क्या हमने कुछ बहुत बड़ा काम कर दिया क्या? We are making only doctors. We are not making good health. Only making doctors. So then it has become business. So see, when you satisfy God, you need not to satisfy doctor. When you do not satisfy God, then you have to give money to doctor. कहीं तो देना ही पड़ेगा पैसा, ये तो उधर नहीं तो उधर. तो आज हम वही कर रहे हैं. आज हम स्कूल में पूरा पैसा भर रहे हैं, बच्चे को पढ़ाने के लिए 1.5 लाख 2 लाख रुपए देना पड़ रहा है ना, छोटे बच्चे को. क्यों? एजुकेशन अभी गॉड कॉन्शियस है ही नहीं. एजुकेशन पूरा मटेरियल एजुकेशन है. And these all Sudras, they have become greedy for money. So therefore they are charging a heavy price. For a futile knowledge, heavy price is charged. And for transcendental knowledge, God is giving free. This is called the benevolence of God, because God understands we are His children. So if we do yagya, if we satisfy Krishna, then we have to learn about Krishna, and whole generation will learn about Krishna, and so therefore will attain transcendental knowledge, and this material knowledge will be removed. Nowadays people are worried about material knowledge very very much. अरे मेरे बच्चे को कौन नहीं पढ़ाया तो क्या होगा. इसमें थोड़ा सा इंटेलिजेंस की भी ज़रूरत है एक्चुअली, क्योंकि सब मूर्खों की सभा है आजकल की दुनिया. मूर्खों ने संसार बनाया है. इवन दो दे हैव हाईएस्ट पोजीशन, बट most of them are foolish people, foolish or vested interest people. They have their selfish interest. But it is quite possible in this world also that if devotees, they understand because Krishna jehe bhaje sehi bada chatur. If they understand the world's economy system and world psychology, and then they try to serve Krishna with their perfect guidance and understanding, they can still solve the problem of the world individually. But इसमें थोड़ा intelligence चाहिए, because otherwise everybody is in rat race, everybody is running after. जब तक यज्ञ चालू नहीं होगा ना, तब तक ये rat race खत्म नहीं होगा. Now somebody say we are also chanting, so many devotees are chanting, but you may not know. You just go to internet, you will find how many sins are happening. How many sins are happening, how many people are dying, how many people are killing cows, how many abortions are happening, how many wrong activities are happening. Just in all these numbers are in lakhs. So much sin is happening means yagya is not happening. Sin means no yagya. If yagya will happen, sin will stop. If sins will not stop, it means yagya is not becoming so much powerful to stop the sin. If yagya will happen, sins will stop. And until then, sins are going ahead, then how can we expect that there will be prosperity? Because at other places, so many God children are killed, they are tortured, hinsa sab kuch ho raha hai. So then that effect will also come. So that is there actually. So by performance of yagya, one's table becomes sanctified. Ahar suddho sattva suddhi, sattva suddho dhruva smriti, smriti labdhe sarva granthinam vipra moksha. By ahar suddho, sattva will suddhi. What is sattva? Satgun, rajogun, tamogun. We are all in these three modes. When we eat, which is offered to Krishna, then our existence is purified. Means we become free from material contamination of the modes of material contamination from the modes. And then dhruva smriti, then smriti, remembrance of the Lord, will become dhruva. It will not be temporary, it will be permanent. We will be thinking for the higher purpose. Smriti labdve sarva granthinam vipramoksha. All the granthis, karma granthi will be finished and will be vipramoksha. will be focusing towards moksha. So all begins with ahar suddha. Ahar suddha. And how ahar will be suddha? Through yagya. Just see, everything begins with yagya. Ahar will only become suddha through yagya. And then we will attain moksha. We will leave this world. So therefore Prabhupada says, this world Krishna has made to gradually purify the living entity, do the yagya, get all your necessities, and at the last you go to kingdom of Godhead. Same shloka here mentioned. Okay. इष्टान भोगान ही देवा, इष्टान भोगान ही वो देवा, दास्यन्ते यज्ञ भाविता, तैर्दत्तान अप्रदायेभ्यो यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः.
In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, will supply all necessities to you. But he enjoys such gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief.
What is the stena eva saha? Stain मतलब चोर. चोर है वो. कौन है चोर? यो भुंकते, जो एंजॉय करता है बिना दे के, बिना दिए एंजॉय करता है जो, उसको चोर बोलते हैं. अपराध, अप्रदाय, अप्रदाय मीन्स विदाउट ऑफरिंग. एभ्य मीन्स टू डेमिगॉड्स. तो बेसिकली in our childhood we learn the values, share and enjoy. Yes, we tell to children, beta, give your half chapati to your brother or to your friend if he is hungry, and then enjoy half yourself. That is called sacrifice. Yes. In the similar way, God knows that we have tendency to enjoy this world, so he says, offer your some part of wealth, offer your some part of food, offer your some part of commodity to gods in Vedic yagya, and by that satisfy the gods, and then gods will give you more number of commodities, more number of necessities he will fulfill. By offering little, you will get more. But if you do not do that, then chor. चोर मीन्स व्हाट? किसी की प्रॉपर्टी चुरा के खा रहा है खुद. तभी सब चोरों की सभा है आज, चोरों का साम्राज्य है बस. Prabhupada बोलते one person, Prabhupada said, hey, you are thief. Prabhupada, he said, I'm not thief, I'm working honestly. Then Prabhupada said, what is your business? He said, I'm making a glass. Then Prabhupada said, from where are you making glass? From sand. From where you collected sand? I've collected sand from the beach, ocean beach. So to whom it belongs to? Then he said, to God. Yes, because it belongs to God. So anyone in this world, ultimately the natural resources on which they are making their big products, so that natural resources given by God. It means we are obliged to offer something to God. Otherwise we are thief. So this is a verse of thief. So how can dishonest person do yagya? Dishonest person yagya नहीं कर सकता. और चोरों में कभी भी there is no honesty among thieves. Honesty cannot exist among thieves. It means a person who is not God conscious, he cannot be honest. A person who is not God conscious is not honest because he is not doing any yagya, and so he is a thief. So how can there be happiness in the family of the thieves? Not possible. तो कोई शांति भी नहीं, सुख भी नहीं, दोनों नहीं. तो इसलिए यहाँ बोला जा रहा है कि बिना यज्ञ किए हम सुखी नहीं रह पाएंगे, क्योंकि वो चोरों का परिवार है. तो यहाँ पे दिया, demigods are authorized supplying agent on behalf of Supreme Lord. They must be satisfied by performance of prescribed yajna. There are different kinds of yajnas for demigods, but all are ultimately offered to Supreme Lord. Yes, now you see here. For one who cannot understand what the personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to demigod is recommended. Same thing. Why sacrifice to God is other demigods are recommended? Because we do not have understanding about Krishna. Therefore it is mentioned, you worship demigods, at least you worship demigods. Now, in earlier, whole world was a Bharatvarsha. So when Parshuram, when he had taken a vow of chopping all the Kshatriyas, 21 generation he chopped off the head of leaders of all Kshatriyas. Then most of Kshatriyas in India, they ran away from India to Greek, then to Europe, then to America. They ran to different parts of the world. And then they established Vedic system because Parshuram did not go to so much far distance. And that's why the Vedic culture started even in the Egypt, in the Rome, in many places. So you will find the remnants of Vedic culture there. But when it comes to Christianity, like they don't believe in worship of forms of God. They are a Brahminical religion. Means in the Christianity, it is a law that nobody should worship any form of God. Means that form of God becomes competitor of God. So therefore destroy that form. So they may not do explicitly, but after Christianity comes Islam. So in Islam Dharma, this is more like prominent to destroy the deities of any idol which is worshipped as God. So they don't have higher understanding the difference between idol and deities. They think every deity is idol or any idol is idol. So therefore they try to destroy all the God's form. And wherever in the beginning, as I mentioned, the Vedic culture was well spread, but still there included some contamination, because anything, some superior is required to guide. So some contamination started happening in Vedic culture. So then later Christianity came in the Western world. And Christianity, they propose that you give up your dharma. What is the Vedic culture? Worshipping some idol. You embrace Christianity. And this, if you understand what is Christianity actually, Christianity does not have very high foundation. Means it does not give very detailed knowledge of worshipping of Lord. Whereas Vedic culture, they may propagate worship of demigods. Polytheistic बोलते हैं उसको. You can worship many gods. Like सूर्य देवता अलग है, एग्रीकल्चर का देवता अलग है, बीमारी निकालने की देवता अलग है, अलग अलग देवताओं का नाम जिक्र होता था. So they used to worship. But when the Christianity wanted to spread, so they said that give up this polytheistic worship and take to Christianity. And that's why many of the Christians saints were also sacrificed, because they were revolting against the custom and the religion of that field, that country. But slowly they became quite well spread, because they started convincing, because I said there was no Brahmana later, so therefore they started convincing these Vedic followers or some so-called Vedic followers that you take up to Jesus, worship Jesus, everything. So they started changing, and in this way the whole Western country started becoming influenced by Christianity. Dheere dheere. But you will be amazed to understand how can even in the Greek or Rome or Europe, all these places, different gods were worshipped, because earlier the kings from India, they ran away from here to that place and they established themselves, and they spread this Vedic culture there also. So therefore the yagya process was there even at that time. Worship of a god of agriculture, worship of god of Surya, worshipping the god of rain. जैसे हमारे भारत में Krishna is stopping the worship of Indra. So what is that? That is Vedic culture. But Krishna says, I am already Indra का बाप हूँ, मैं खड़ा यहाँ पे, तुम मेरे को worship नहीं कर रहे. You should stop his worship and start worshipping me. So for that reason he stopped. So he said in Braja there should be no worship of demigod. I am only there. You should worship me. But when it comes to other places, then demigods were allowed to worship actually. Okay, we'll end with this. Okay, ये खत्म करके end करते हैं. So worship of the different demigods also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship goddess Kali, ghastly form of material nature, before the goddess. Okay, so this goddess Kali one can worship, but ultimately all the yagyas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. See, now can somebody say that I can offer some mans to Lord Vishnu? Lord Vishnu does not accept any tamoguna worship, or okay, so therefore he has made certain system also that you worship to Kali, and then Kali will purify you. For ordinary man, at least 5 yagyas are mentioned. Panch Mahayagya. So what is this Panch Mahayagya is mentioned? The 5 great sacrifices consist of sacrifices to Pitras, worship of Devatas, recitation of Vedas, feeding humans, and feeding other living entities. These are the Panch Mahayagya. So Pitras, Devatas, Vedas. Actually, there are 5 rin. Devarshi, Bhutapta, Nirnam, Pitanam, Nayam, Rinkano, Rinicharajan. So 5. Anybody who is born in this world, he has 5 debt to pay. First is to Devatas. Deva Rishi, to Devatas. So how you can fulfill this debt to Devatas? So it is mentioned by worship of the Devatas. It is mentioned. By worship, and at some other places also by worship of the Devatas. Second thing, how you can fulfill the sacrifice to the Pitras, Deva Rishi. For Rishi, you have to read Vedas. You have to read the Vedas. You have to spread the knowledge also. So you have to teach others also. So, or you have to read. So therefore, Ramayana Mahabharata has to be recited and has to be learnt. So this is to clear the debt of Rishis. Then how to clear the debt of Pitras? To produce children. It is mentioned. Therefore, you find in the family, they produce children to clear the debt of the forefathers. So produce good children. Yeah. So worshipping Devatas or worshipping Supreme Lord, and then recitation of Vedas, learning Vedas, and then producing children, and then how to clear the debt of humans. Again, humans, here is written feeding humans and feeding other. So yes, again doing paropkar work for humans and other living entities. Prabhupada says even like in household life, if somebody makes prasad, he should go out and call out, anybody who's hungry, please come and take. So nowadays practically how to do that, because then it will be difficult. So then one can offer some charity to temple so that others can be fed through temple, or one can also call people during festival time, then you can feed humans. So that is again clearing the debt which is on us when we are born in this world, and then feeding other living entities like dogs, cats, these things, other living entities. Also comes animal. So like that. So if somebody does not do these yagyas, then he is called thief. Means the grihastha also, basically this is all belonging for the grihastha devotees, because for those who are brahmachari, they are already in ashram, so they are already offering to Guru everything, so it's going to Krishna. And even for grihastha devotees, if they are fully dedicated to Krishna, they are doing all these things. So surely they are reading Vedas, and they are also having the children, and they are also worshipping Krishna. They are also feeding prasadam. So that is automatically fulfilled in one sense. So means they are doing sacrifice. So these are called Pancha Mahayagya, to alleviate one's debt. Okay, Prabhupada says, one should note, however, that all necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by demigod agents. No one can manufacture anything. Even for animals, those who are animal eaters or non-vegetarians, animals also eat vegetables. Yes, so these vegetables have to be given by first demigods. So in the same way, non-veg people also depend upon demigods. And even heat, light also, none of them can be manufactured in human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight and rainfall, breeze. You find many places there is no moonlight, no sun. Moonlight is there, no sunlight is there. Too much cloudy area. Then again, it is because of lack of yagya. Obviously, our life is dependent on the supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprise, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, all these things. So all these are coming from the nature. The aim is attained by performance of yagya. If you forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from agents of Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. So aim is what? Aim is to attain the kingdom of God or to satisfy the Lord. But if somebody takes all the necessities of the life and enjoys, then he is a chore. वो उसको भी चोर बोला गया है. So okay, if somebody is doing yagya, means surely satisfying the Lord and he is getting the necessity. But if somebody is not doing yagya and is still getting necessity and utilizing for sense gratification, is a chore number one. And a society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialistic thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajna. So like this, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given these yajnas. So we'll continue henceforward from tomorrow. Yes. कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी को?
Prabhuji, how is the debt to demigods paid?
Yeah, debt to demigod by worshipping the Lord.
Okay.
You said that, sorry, I'm asking so many questions.
No issue. Yes.
Prabhuji, you said that a dishonest person cannot do yajna, right? But we have seen that Ravan was also skillful, but he did so many yajnas, right? And his son also did yajnas to win over that war.
Okay. So what do you think now? What Prabhupada says the ultimate goal of yajna should be to please Vishnu, correct, na? So now, what do you think? Ravana was doing anything for pleasure of Vishnu? No. Even he was not doing for the pleasure of God also. These demons are simply very selfish. They only want to utilize the process and then get the benefit and then kick away that God also. Like Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to take the post of Brahma also, but for that he worshipped Brahma. So the demons are like that, but somehow because they are children of God and demigods, they cannot do anything. They have to provide, because demigods are called karma sachiva. Means if somebody worship demigod, by force they have to provide they have to give the benediction by force. देना ही पड़ेगा उनको benediction. So, but he is like a person who is like a spoiled child. He is after mother or father is saying, snatching and telling, give me. So this is not a right way to take. Another person is asking that please give me, I want to do this thing, and is a very sane person. So Ramana is like that. So therefore Prabhupada mentioned the aim has to be clear. Aim should be to advance in transcendental knowledge, and then slowly one will be engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, and then go back to Godhead. In next chapter you will read the purpose of yajna is to advance in transcendental knowledge. Any yajna you do, either you do charity or reading some shastra, whatever. Yajna means doing your work for the pleasure of the Lord, but that should advance you in knowledge, transcendental knowledge. If that is not happening, then Krishna says that is phaltu, means that is materialistic yajna, no value. So here Krishna is emphasizing doing yajna to get your necessities. Later, next chapter, Krishna will emphasize yajna to advance in transcendental knowledge. Same thing, niskam karma क्यों किया? To advance in transcendental knowledge, then go ahead. Yes, same thing Krishna will bring. Now he is taking the different words. पहले कर्म पे चल रहा था, अब यज्ञ का चल रहा है. अब दो चैप्टर में यज्ञ ही चलने वाला है. But basically one has to advance in transcendental knowledge and do the same work, prescribed duty. Do that duty with the transcendental knowledge, then you will be free from all reactions. Like that. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.